In this chapter, we will be looking at the water valve of a Whirlpool-built top-load washing machine, how it works, how it can malfunction, and what you need to do to replace it. Water valves consist of two magnetic solenoids, one for hot and one for cold. A solenoid is a temporary magnet. When the solenoid is supplied with 110 volts, it becomes a magnet and pulls the internal plunger up, allowing water to flow through the valve and into the tub of the washer. The valve is wired directly to the temperature switch and to the water level switch. Depending on what is selected at the temperature switch, the valve will be supplied power to the appropriate solenoid. Cold will open only the cold half of the valve, and hot would open only the hot side. Now warm will supply power to both the hot and the cold. Some models also have a thermostat that can interrupt the flow of power to the solenoids, thus controlling the temperature. I highly recommend the purchase of a voltmeter if you don't already own one. We can use this to safely see if the valves are receiving the power that they need to open. We set our meter to the first scale higher than the voltage that we want to measure, in this case 120 volts AC. If you set the meter below the amount you intend to be measuring, you will likely damage your meter. Now in this test, the tub is empty, so the water level switch is closed, allowing power to flow through. Our washer is set to fill with hot, and the timer is pulled out at the beginning of the cycle where the washer would normally fill. So I will contact the two wire meter leads to the hot water valve, one to the colored power supply line and one to the white neutral line. I should be measuring something close to 120 volts. If I am drastically over or under, then there is likely a problem with the house wiring. If you are getting a very low reading and you have verified all the things that I listed before, the pressure switch, the temperature switch, and the timer cycle setting, then you might need to check out the under the console chapter. If the valve seems to be receiving power but is not opening fully, it is likely bad internally and needs to be replaced. Check the valve screens for debris. If they are mostly clean, then the plunger of the valve is probably bound up and not opening fully and needs to be replaced. To replace the valve, unplug the washer, remove all wire plugs, remove any mounting screws, raise the valve up out of its cradle, and then remove the tub supply hose. Some new valves come with a plate that can be installed onto the valve and make it compatible with many models of washers produced over the years. Reinstall the new valve with your trusty nut driver. Reinstall any screws that you may need. Reinstall your power supply wires. The wire terminals are usually color-coded and foolproof. Red would be for hot and white would be for cold. Reattach the tub supply line and all of your hoses. You might want to check to see if the washer will fill properly before you reinstall the cabinet.